All right, I am here with Jess from FranFund. Thanks, Jess.
Thanks, Lisa.
Thank you so much. Today, I think I needed to bring in the big guns because we're talking about a really popular program. It's been around for sure for the 12 plus years I've been doing this, but you surprised me offline and said, when did the ROBS program actually start? How long has it been around?
It's been around since 1974.
All right, so it's older than me, folks. Okay, so anyway, so let's talk about what that is because a lot of people still just don't even know that it's an option. And when I tell them, they get super excited and super interested. I can use pre-tax dollars, and all of a sudden, the conversation just gets a little bit more serious. So tell everybody, what is ROBS?
Well, the Rollover for Business Startup Program, or the ROBS program, is an IRS-regulated program, and it allows you to invest your eligible retirement funds directly into your new business and utilize those funds pre-taxed and with no penalty towards any legitimate business expense. And like we said, it's been around since the 70s, but it does tend to be kind of a niche option.
Right.
Your average CPA, accountant, wealth advisor may not have awareness. Simply, if you haven't been on the market for alternative funding solutions, you just may not have ever encountered it. And it's a really excellent way to diversify your retirement within a business asset.
Absolutely. Talk about the eligibility requirements because not everybody can just call up their boss and say, hey, I'm going to pull 100 grand out of my 401k, right?
Sure, absolutely. And in order to facilitate the program, you do have to have an eligible retirement account. Most commonly, I'll see folks utilizing a 401k from a previous employer, a traditional IRA, maybe a TSP if you worked for the government or came from the military, a 403b perhaps if you're a teacher or in some other type of employment that offers a 403b. There's a number of different types of accounts that you can use with the ROBS program. The primary ones I come against that are not eligible would include a 401k with your current employer.
Right.
Reason being, that active 401k account has its own set of rules, and generally that disallows you from moving the funds out of the account until you have left the employer. So perhaps part of your strategy with pursuing the new business is that you will leave your job as you're developing. Well, in that case, sure, we can use that 401k once you are no longer employed and you've received your final paycheck. But as long as you're an employee, not quite an option. And then also a Roth IRA would not be an eligible retirement account with the ROBS program.
And I think, it might be obvious, but we might as well say it out loud here. So spouses, one is working, one is not. Perhaps the wife is going to start this business. She's going to leave her job. The husband is still working. He has an old 401k from a previous place of employment. Those dollars can be used, right?
Absolutely.
Like husband and wife, spouse, partner type things. Sometimes there's usually a way to figure it out. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, the thing with the ROBS program is you're making a qualified retirement investment into this company that you're the owner of. And ownership, when you're using this strategy, is based on shares of stock that are owned. So let's say I'm going to be the manager of the business and primary operator, but my husband has a 401k that's eligible that we're going to use to fund. Well, if we're using his 401k account to invest in the business, then ultimately that will give him ownership. That doesn't mean I can't be on the franchise agreement. That doesn't mean I can't be a primary employee of the company and take advantage of all of the benefits. But from a technical standpoint, ownership would be based on ownership of shares. And perhaps husband has retirement funds that are eligible, and I wanted to invest some of my cash because I don't have retirement, but I still want to have some ownership percentage in the business. I could buy additional shares of stock in the corporation with my cash alongside my spouse who is purchasing the stock with his retirement. Okay. I hope that's not too much of an earful.
No, I think again, it's just there's a lot of different ways to get this done. And so I think it is a matter of set up a call and let's figure this out. We don't need to figure out exactly how much you're going to get, exactly how much you're going to need. We're figuring out how much you're going to need as we're going through this. But I think it is helpful. What are our options? Can my appetite be a little bit bigger than I thought it would. Sometimes 401k helps that. It helps us get the business or the extra territory, whatever it is that we didn't quite think we could do. Now we have options to go get it. Talk a little bit about the timing around 401k. I mean, there's fees involved in it, obviously. You can't just do this, right? I can't just call up my 401k provider and say, okay, I'm gonna pull 100 grand, right? So talk about the timeline and some of like what goes into it if they do make a decision.
You're right. It's not something that you can necessarily facilitate on your own. A CPA isn't typically equipped. Your custodian for the 401k account isn't going to provide this type of service. But the time to facilitate the program averages about 20 to 30 days, maybe 3 or 4 weeks, depending on where the funds are coming from, what type of account it is, are you still employed or not, whatever the case is. But the time frame is based on the steps that we take to facilitate it. And there's a few steps involved here. First, we're setting up your business entity as a C corporation, which when you use this strategy is the required operating entity. And usually in most states, the filing of the C Corp is a pretty quick turnaround and something that our team facilitates with our service. So we're setting up that C Corp, we're setting up the EIN, the employer identification number, so that you, the client, can go and set up your business bank account. And then FranFund would develop a new retirement plan that would be sponsored by this new corporation. And as a W-2 employee of the company, you could elect to roll over your funds from the original retirement account into this new company-sponsored plan and then invest that directly in the corporation. And that just means your retirement plan is buying stock in your own business. And it will own the shares of stock just as if maybe it's a silent partner. You could think of it that way until you either sell the company or buy the shares back, or perhaps you have a strategy where you're purchasing the stock back from the retirement plan at a point in time. And so taking all of those steps, the C Corp setup, the transfer of funds from one account to the other, developing the retirement plan and making that stock exchange, average about 20 to 30 days.
Well, that's not bad.
No, it's one of the more streamlined routes to funding, especially if you're pursuing a service-based business, something with a lower project cost, and you've got a robust retirement account. This is a great opportunity to finance your business without taking on debt, which is going to allow you to cash flow faster and hit profitability at a quicker rate, and not have to go through a lengthy loan process, a paperwork-heavy loan process, which when you're working with a group like FranFund, we put some ease into that. But the fact of the matter is it is a process. And if you're pursuing a business that could potentially have a quick ramp up, this is an excellent way to self-finance that, open it up, develop everything as you see fit with those pre-tax dollars, and be able to get started more quickly than other alternative options.
That's awesome. Thank you, Jess. I appreciate it. Thank you for watching. If you're ready to take the next step, Integrity Franchise Group is here to help. Click the link below or reach out to us today to schedule an appointment. Let's work together to solve that franchise puzzle and turn your business dreams into reality. We cannot wait to connect with you.